Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Alright, so we have Skarmory. Some of y'all really like the metal bird. Skarmory is actually one of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 2 from Johto. I believe when I had Silver back in the day, or even I think when I played Ruby, you could actually catch Skarmory at one point. So Skarmory was a part of my team, and I love it a lot. Now, Skarmory is also a staple in Pokemon Go. Since the preseason, it's been a monster, and it's been really good, especially when it got Brave Bird. So the thing about Skarmory is, as you see here, Skarmory has incredibly high defense. So for the Holiday Cup, Skarmory is a really good flyer. It is able to take on a lot of the meta and not wall it, but basically tank a lot of damage. As you see, it has a very high defense stat, maxed out near 2500, and otherwise very balanced attack and stamina. It also has a great move pool. So as you see here, Skarmory. Now, the thing about Steel and Flying, I don't have to do much of an introduction about Skarmory because you've seen it so much, but basically, it has a ton of resistances. Grass, Poison, Dragon, Fairy, Flying, Ground, Normal, Psychic, Steel, Grass, and Bug. With the Flying and Steel typing combination, Ice does neutral damage to you. So it's only weak to two things, Electric and Fire. So there's two Pokemon where these two typings really come to mind. Alola Marowak, and probably, let's see, either a Graveler or Lantern. So as you see, yes, it does have its weaknesses flying around, but that's a lot of resistances. Being able to resist the Charmers as well as Dragon Breath users and just a lot of other types makes it a really powerful mon in the Holiday Cup. So if you loved it for Open Greatly, guess what? It can serve you very well in the Holiday Cup. Alright, so here we go. We have the Pvoke.com rankings. I don't actually have to look for Skarmory because it's actually in the top 10. It's very powerful overall in this meta. Like I mentioned, even though you do take some damage against your weaknesses, for example, like Alola Marowak, etc., Fire Spins, it still is a very tanky Pokemon, and it's able to do a lot of work for you. As you see here, you win against the Fighters, you also win against the Charmers, and, well, Pseudo Fires to be exact, Altaria and Abomasnow, so it has a lot of play. As you see, your key losses are to Alola Marowak, Diggersby, Stunfisk, Dugong, and Galvantula. Basically, the electric types like I mentioned, or anything that lights you on fire. Now, Dugong is only a very strong matchup against you is because of its ability to land Icy Wind. Remember what I mentioned? Ice does neutral damage. So, those Icy Winds can add up, and because Skarmory is a tank, Dugong just basically outthinks you. Now, as you see, Skarmory is very powerful in the lead and the closer as well. Two very strong positions and in the top 10. It actually makes it, other than Altaria, probably the most versatile flyer in all of the Holiday Cup. In the lead, Skarmory ranks at, if we scroll down, because it actually doesn't take that long to get to, we go down, number 21. As you see, it's able to take on the Fighters, Altaria, and Wigglytuff. So being able to take on the Charmers and the Fighters is a plus, and plus Altaria in its own. It's basically the flyer that beats the biggest flyer, which is Altaria. So that's why Skarmory is so good. And with its ability to generate energy fast with Air Slash, Brave Bird, and Sky Attack do heavy damage, they will threaten. So Skarmory is really good in the lead, and its second position, the closer. In the closer, Skarmory is actually in the top 10. As you see here, it's able to take on a lot of the meta. You're actually able to beat Diggersby. Yes, it's a key loss while it has shields. However, you can take it out with a burb. You're also able to take out what you, like I mentioned before. Now, the hardest counter to you will probably be things that wall you. Well, not wall you, but they do, like, they have a high, like, they resist you. So Steel types and Rock types like Graveler and A-Slash. So that's why you lose. The Alolan Marowak matchup, as you see in the key losses, isn't that bad. 505 isn't bad ratings. If you have chip damage on Marowak, you can flick that. Basically, you burb it to death. The Suburban! No, okay, that was a bad... Yeah, just ignore that, please. Don't pay attention to that. So as a switch, I don't think you should use... So Skarmory, you could throw Skarmory into a positive matchup, but it's best used as a lead or a closer. For the reason of being, as you see here, as a switch, you're able to beat the Fighters, you also beat the Charmers, you're also able to beat Lapras. However, you don't want to chuck Skarmory into an AWAC or an A-Grav. because it's gonna suck, especially Stunfisk. And as you see, you still can lose against things like Gopsigoon, especially if it boosts. So you don't want to switch. You don't want to switch a Skarmory into a negative matchup. It's best to use something else as a safe switch. However, still strong in the lead and closer. So if you align in the closer and Skarmory's got energy, guess what? You will burb whatever's in front of you to oblivion. If it's like super effective. But generally, you should be able to just like one-shot a lot of things with burb. Alright, as I always say, if you would like to donate to peakpoke.com and you're able to do so, please consider doing so. Wonderful website. And as you see here, I have Skarmory. The Matrix is my favorite because we could do everything. I know this is overkill, but you know what? You might as well. We're going to analyze everything. So here's Flash Cannon, Sky Attack. You don't want to run Flash Cannon because I don't believe it flips anything notable. You want Brave Bird Sky Attack. But I also did Return Sky Attack just in case, just to give you like a sense. You know what? Just for science, we'll do the Shadow version of Skarmory as well. It all in one burb. But I'm not going to do the rest of the movesets. These are just for science. So we're just, the main moveset you want is Brave Bird Sky Attack. Shadow is risky just because of a lot of Pokemon here do heavy damage or have a ton of bulk. So let's take a look at Shadow. We're going to do all the same thing. As you see, I have the Holly Cup Meta on the right already. We'll run the 2-shield. As you see, you're able to beat Abomasnow. You can beat Altaria. You lose against Dugong, Diggersby, Drifblim, Frostless, Galvantula, Alolan Graveler. That's because Alolan Graveler and Lantern are both electric types, flying is resisted by both. So because of that, Grav and Lantern do hardball, and they hardball you, so just be very careful. As you see, you're able to beat Lapras in the 2-shield if you have the regular variation of Brave Bird and Sky Attack. But I think this is bait dependent. As you see here, you have to land a burb. So you have to double bait with Sky Attack, and then you must burb. If you do not burb, you die. It's that simple. So you have to burb to finish. So you could eat, like, I believe you can eat like a Surf, but that's like it. The Ice Shards will chunk, and then Lapras is just really thick. So that's a really baity matchup. You'll beat Magnezone. You'll lose against Magnezone because, like I mentioned, Electric does resist you as well as Steel. So Magnezone basically runs you down. Like it has a really good time against you. Let's just say that. Mandibuzz, you beat Mandibuzz because Mandibuzz, you are able, even if you don't resist those Snarls, and Snarls and Foul Play just don't do enough damage to you. You basically outthick Mandibuzz. You do lose against AWAC. You also lose against Obscune. You also lose against A-Slash. Oh my gosh. You lose against a lot of things. Is there... Wait, hold on. Let me double check this, because there's no way you lose this many leads. I think you just do. Sadly. So, it's a okay lead. As you see here... Wow. I think this is factual, though, in all honesty. Yeah, I think this actually is, like, really accurate. Because as you see, Vigoroth, there's a lot of things. That's what I mentioned. So Skarmory, as you see, you're able to take out the Charmers, you're able to take out Altarias, the Dragon Blades, you also take out Abomasnow, but you lose against a lot of stuff in the meta. Wow. You lose against Talonflame, you lose against... No, I'm not really surprised about Vigoroth. Vigoroth's body slams just add up. You also lose against Snorlax, Obstagoon, of course, a little Marowak. Wow. It's a lot of red. It's a lot of red. So Skarmory's okay. I would say Skarmory's probably best in the closer. As you see here, in the closer, it's probably your best bet. So we're gonna 1-shield. Let's go to the 1-shield. I see the 2 shields is just really oppressive. There are outs, but Skarmory just doesn't do that well against a majority of the meta in the 2-shield. The 1-shield, that changes a lot. As you see in the 1-shield, we get a lot of like icing and dicing. So in the 1-shield, it looks like Shadow Skarmory in the 1-shield is able to beat Dugong and Diggersby. I still think the Dugong match is bait dependent, so you need to land a burp here, so that's not even kind of a convincing win. You beat Drifblim Frostless with the regular version, however, yeah, you beat Drifblim Frostless with the regular version. You're also able to beat Lapras and Mandibuzz. Wow. You beat Obstagoon, you beat Vigoroth in the 1s. You lose against A-Slash because it does resist you. You also lose against a Mirror. So the Mirror match is basically whoever wins CMP. So whoever wins CMP wins the Mirror, or whichever one has energy advantage. So if you have energy advantage, you're fine. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. As you see here, you beat Vigoroth, Whimsicott, Wigglytuff. You also beat Obstagoon. So you beat the Fighters, and you both beat all the Charmers as well as Altaria. Now, what's scary is that you lose against a lot of the electric types. The electric types do dominate you. As you see, you lose against Galvantula, Graveler, and Lantern, which both have electric subtypes. You also lose against Diggersby because those Fire Punches are really oppressive, and because Dugong can debuff you. Like I said, you have a chances with the Shadow, but you have to land the Burb. So, it's a very risky strategy. You're able to beat Obstagoon or in general, just use the regular version. It looks like Flash Cannon allows you to flip the A-Slash matchup. I'm not sure if that's super valuable. I don't think it really is. Giving up Burb for... As you see, if you don't have Burb, you basically lose against a lot of other matchups. So, I think Burb is the way to go. As you see here, but Flash Cannon allows you to beat Skarmory if you get the mirror. So, Flash Cannon has merit. Is it important? Probably not. As you see here, you do, like I mentioned, you're going to lose against a slew of matchups if you don't have Burb. So, definitely consider... Well, it's something to consider, but if you like it, there's nothing wrong. Alright, so as you see, Skarmory also functions very well in the closer. It's its second best position. Well, actually, I think the closer, it's its best position overall. I think it was like a 94 versus a 92, and I agree with it, because Burb does so much damage. As you see here, if we run the closer, you beat a lot of things like Burbing them to death. You're gonna lose to Diggersby, because Diggersby's Fire Punch is just super oppressive. It will KO you, which is just nuts. Diggersby actually outthicks you, but it's because Diggersby has Fire Punch. Now, the thing about you lose against Galvantula, you're gonna lose it. The thing about that makes running Skarmory really difficult is if you look at the Galvantula matchup, for example, you lose a lot of matchups unless you're up a shield. Bam. You just get zapped. You basically have to have shield advantage to take out the grab. And I don't think even if you have shield advantage, that's Galvantula, but I don't think you could do that against the Lantern, because Lantern's pretty thick. As you see here, you get walled by Lantern. A-Grab, I think you can take out A-Grab in a certain scenario. No, you don't. You actually don't take out A-Grab. So you actually get walled by A-Grab and Lantern. Even worse by Magnezone. Magnezone has a really good time watching you trying to kill it. It has a really good time. A really good time. So that's what makes it difficult. In the closer, as long as you don't see an electric type, you're okay. And it's because it has such a heavy resistance. Now, like I mentioned with the Alola Marowak matchup, this isn't a horrible matchup. You can beat AWAC as long as it has chip damage in the closer. As you see here, you can beat AWAC. It literally lives with like 1 HP with the stat spread. So, it's pretty interesting. Very interesting how it works. As you see, Alolan Sandslash, you beat... If you get the Mirrored Skarmory, whoever wins CMP wins. Or whoever, like I mentioned before. You're going to lose against A-Slash and Stunfisk. Remember, electric types. And A-Slash just because it's a steel type. So, A-Slash... I don't believe A-Slash walls you. You actually... Okay, so you do win in the 1-0s or the 2-0s. So, Alolan Sandslash must have 0 shields for you to have a chance. And you have to be shielded, have shield advantage. You beat Talonflame, you beat Whimsicott, you beat Wigglytuff. As you see, it's really strong in the closer, but it is so dangerous to have it run into electric types, or even Diggersby. Now, given you probably aren't going to see Diggersby level 50 running around like rampant, but like still, like electric types, you be very careful. In the 1 shield, in the 1-0, Skarmory does a ton of damage, as you see here. If we go to the 1-0s, you beat everything, like I mentioned, except the some electric types. As you see, you can beat Lantern with the Shadow one, but it can't have Spark. As you see here, you're able to defeat a lot of... You're able to beat so many with a 1-0 shield center, except the electric types. And Alola Marowak unless it has chip damage. So, as you see, you beat everything but the electric types and AWAC convincingly. In the 2-0s, you don't... It's the same thing. Electric types and steel types, or like even Lantern, wall you. So, electric types are insanely dangerous. You do beat the majority of the rest of the meta without it. With shields. So, 2-0s, you beat a majority of the meta. Just not Lantern, Graveler, and Magnezone. Now, if you have the Shadow version, you can beat Lantern. But, as you've seen, the Shadow version, Shadow does have less defense. So, it can be really risky to run it. If you have shield advantage... As you see here, every other variant beats... Why does this happen? Why do you beat Diggersby? Is because you literally Flash Cannon it to death? I think you literally Flash... No, you just straight Sky Attack. So you straight Sky Attack. So you should be able to beat Diggersby in this scenario then. I don't get why in 2-1s, because why is it in the 2-1s? Okay, fire. No, just straight Sky Attack. Why are you doing Burb? That makes 0 sense. Okay, so... That's very... Oh, no, not Brave Bird. Just straight Sky Attack. That's very strange. Yeah, you win straight Sky Attack, so you beat Diggersby. I don't know why this sim's acting like this, but yeah, you can beat Diggersby. The reason you don't beat it in a closer, because it actually lives enough Sky Attacks, and it can live through a Sky Attack and Burb, and it will Fire Punch you to death. But with the 2-1s, you can beat Diggersby. You do lose against... The Lantern matchup isn't bad. It's not horrible, but you have to have chip damage on Lantern if you want to beat it. Burb does kill. Or no, like, see this combination? Why do you Sky Attack, then Burb, then Sky Attack? Shouldn't you just Sky Attack, Sky Attack? Yeah, this is weird. You should beat Lantern. Can you beat it straight? I don't think you could beat straight Sky Attack. Let's see. No, you can't beat. So you need chip damage, and then what if you burp here? So if we go here and then we burp. So that's what makes Skarmory kind of interesting. Skarmory is a very difficult one to use in a sense. It's the electric types that really threaten it. Just like it does, like Go Battle League, like if you see a Galvantula, you run. As you see, in the 2-to-1s, you do take out the Pseudo Fighters, you take out the Charmers, you also take out Altaria. You beat a slew of other matchups, however, the electric types still do run rampant, unless it's like, let's see, unless it's like Lantern in a certain scenario. So as you see, you're able to beat Lantern, but that's even the Water Gun one. I just wouldn't even risk it. Just if you see like Spark or Water Gun, like it's just dangerous. Lantern is very powerful as a tank in this meta, so just be mindful of the electric types, and then you can do well with Skarmory. Skarmory still has a ton of play, especially as you see with Shield Advantage, but the electric types really do give it a huge threat. And it does lose against some other archetypes too, such as A-Slash, if they're trying to be spicy, or Alolan Marowak does threaten because it's fire type as well. Basically, I think the general synopsis is try to keep it away from its weaknesses, fire and electric types, and you might or may not have a good time. So if I had to give Skarmory a rating, I think I would give Skarmory a 7 out of 10. The reason why I give it such a low rating is if you see the lead against it, yes, it's strong in the lead. It can be strong. It can break shields for you. It can do good. However, it just loses too hard to electric types. And you even lose as you, like, those are electric types as you see here. We're in the 2 shield. You lose against electric types and even some ice types. So A-Slash, basically things that resist you. You lose against Snorlax. You also lose against Castform. So you lose against a lot of Pokemon in the lead. And you only have a huge advantage. Well, actually, I don't even know how to pinpoint where you have a huge advantage. You do beat a lot, so you beat some things, but you don't beat a lot of things in the lead. It's best, I would say Skarmory's best positions in the closer for it to nuke with Burb and leaving it with shield advantage. But even then, it's just the presence of electric types or the possibility of sealing. Because if you see an electric type, you have to essentially just switch out. Like, switch out. Unless it's like a Water Gun Lantern, but even then, like, it's dangerous. So you would have to switch out. It has great finishing potential, especially against things that already have chip damage, or if you have energy lead. However, like I said, it's just a oppression of electric types. As you see in the 2 shield, it only does 65%. That's not bad. That's still very good. However, like I see, electric types have a very strong rating against you. And if you get locked into a closer with Magnezone, you will lose. In the closer, it's good, but as you see, 70.9, that's not great. As you see here, you still lose against electric types. That's just the issue. It's just electric types are so oppressive that it's very dangerous to run into even one or get locked into one. Other than that, it does beat a slew of other picks. Skarmory can break shields for you. It does put pressure on your opponent to shield. If you give it shield advantage, it has even better of a chance. As you see, it's just the issue is even if you give it shield advantage, it still doesn't beat 9% matchups. You still lose against electric types, and you still lose against Alolan So Alolan Sandslash, or is that Alolan Sandshrew? That's Sandshrew. Okay, not Alolan Sandslash, Sandshrew. But Lantern, all electric types. You even lose against Celio, and you barely edge out the Marowak matchup. So that's just a big issue with. That's just a big issue. Marowak, like, it's fire and electric can be very popular in the Holiday Cup, especially fire with Alolan Marowak. So you have to take a lot of precautions with Skarmory. Because of that, I can't give it a high rating. There are better leads out there. If you had to pick it, it's a lot better for you to lead with Altaria because it has the bulk and Dragon Breath has a lot of damage. So Altaria is a better alternative. Skarmory in general, like Altaria can still take on electric types. Most electric types. Skarmory, or eat like a wall charge. Skarmory cannot. Skarmory will die and Skarmory takes heavy damage, unfortunately. Mostly because it doesn't share that dragon type, so it takes super effective damage from electric. I hope this video helped you guys out. Again, if you want to use Skarmory, it can work. It's just very dangerous to run because of the way the meta is. So that's why I only give it a 7 out of 10. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you on the next video.